There is a door inside your mind, not one made of wood or stone, but of perception. A silent passageway that, once opened, reveals not the world outside, but the infinite world within. For centuries, ancient mystics, saints, and sages spoke of this inner gateway with reverence. In Egypt, it was etched into temple walls as the Eye of Horus. In India, it was called Ajna, the third eye. In the philosophy of Descartes, it was nothing less than the seat of the soul. But in our time, it has become a forgotten relic, dismissed as fantasy, buried beneath the noise of modern life. And yet, it is still there, waiting, the pineal gland. Tucked deep within the center of your brain, this tiny pine cone-shaped gland has been revered across cultures as the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. Not just an organ, but a portal capable of tuning the mind into higher frequencies, of unlocking states of consciousness most people never touch. But if this is true, why don't we feel it? Why don't we see it? Because the gateway has been sealed, and you're about to learn why. Before we go deeper, pause for a moment. If you're already intrigued by this hidden wisdom, consider subscribing to this channel. This is not just information, it's an initiation. And the journey ahead will shift how you see reality itself. The story of the pineal gland isn't just one of ancient mystery. It is a story of power, of potential, of what we have lost, and what we can still reclaim. Because something has dimmed the light of the third eye, and unless we remember how to restore it, we may never truly see again. So now, let us uncover the enemy, silent, invisible, and present in your everyday life. It doesn't come with a warning label, no flashing lights, no scent to alert your senses. And yet, this enemy is everywhere, in the water you drink, the toothpaste you use, the very air of modern living. It's called fluoride. What was once marketed as a miracle of dental health has, in truth, become one of the greatest threats to your inner clarity. You see, the pineal gland is unlike any other part of the body. It contains tiny crystals, hydroxyapatite, that act like magnets for fluoride molecules. Over time, this bond turns to stone, literally. Layer by layer, the pineal gland becomes calcified, hardened, muted. Not by trauma, not by choice, but by habit. And we call it normal. Science confirms it. Fluoride accumulates more in the pineal gland than anywhere else in the body. As it builds, melatonin production drops. DMT, the elusive spirit molecule, is suppressed. The very rhythms that govern your sleep, your dreams, your awareness, begin to break. But it doesn't stop there. Fluoride attacks the pinealocytes, the cells that give the gland its power. Once damaged, these cells slow down or stop completely, leaving the third eye dormant, blind, forgotten. Pause with that. Ask yourself, how many years has this silent erosion been taking place inside of you? Now here's the truth. Most won't say out loud. Avoiding fluoride isn't just a health tip. It is a revolutionary act. It is the first conscious step in reclaiming your perception, your clarity, your inner fire. So take it seriously. Choose filtered water. Abandon fluoride-based dental products. Read the labels that were never designed to be read. You are protecting something sacred, something that was never meant to be poisoned. If this resonates, leave a comment below. I choose clarity. Because awareness is the beginning of transformation. But fluoride is only part of the assault. There is another enemy, sweeter, more seductive, one that wraps itself in comfort and culture. And it's killing your inner vision more efficiently than you think. There comes a moment, silent, unmistakable, when something inside you stirs. A feeling that you've touched the edge of something vast, something ancient, something true. That moment may come in a dream so vivid it feels more real than waking life. Or in a flash of intuition you can't explain, but know you must follow. Or in a sudden wave of peace that silences the mind and opens the heart. This is not coincidence. It is the whisper of the pineal gland flickering back to life. The third eye, blinking open. When the pineal gland begins to function as it was always meant to, perception changes. Not just how you see the world, but how you see yourself. You begin to notice patterns in chaos, synchronicities in randomness. You begin to feel truth, not just hear it. Creativity flows effortlessly. Dreams become messages. The line between inner and outer reality begins to blur. There comes a moment, silent, unmistakable, when something inside you stirs. A feeling that you've touched the edge of something vast, something ancient, something true. That moment may come in a dream so vivid it feels more real than waking life, or in a flash of intuition you can't explain, but know you must follow, or in a sudden wave of peace that silences the mind and opens the heart. This is not coincidence. It is the whisper of the pineal gland flickering back to life. The third eye, blinking open. When the pineal gland begins to function as it was always meant to, perception changes. Not just how you see the world, but how you see yourself. You begin to notice patterns in chaos, synchronicities in randomness. You begin to feel truth, not just hear it. Creativity flows effortlessly. Dreams become messages. The line between inner and outer reality begins to blur. Modern neuroscience has offered a name to one of the compounds the pineal releases when activated, DMT, known as the spirit molecule. It's the very same substance that floods the brain during near-death experiences, deep meditation, or certain mystical states. To indigenous shamans, it is the key that unlocks the spirit world. To scientists, a mystery still unfolding. To you, it could be the doorway you've been waiting to find. So let me ask you, what would your life look like if you saw beyond the surface? If the voice inside grew louder than the noise outside? This is not about escaping reality. It's about seeing it fully, raw, alive, interconnected. With you at the center, not as an observer, but as a co-creator. If you've ever felt that spark, that strange knowing you can't explain, don't ignore it. That is your pineal calling out, reminding you that there is more to you than flesh and thought. There is soul, there is spirit, there is vision. And that vision doesn't come from the eyes, it comes from the eye within. If this speaks to your experience, drop a comment. I remember. Because the process of awakening begins with remembrance, but remembering is only the beginning. To truly activate the third eye, we must remove the blocks, both physical and energetic, that keep it closed. The next one is as common as comfort food, but it's also a silent killer of clarity. It greets you every morning with a smile. It's in your coffee, your cereal, your favorite snack. It comforts you when you're tired, rewards you when you're stressed, and lingers in nearly every celebration. But beneath its sweet facade, it is stealing something far more precious than your health. It is stealing your awareness. Sugar. To most, it's a simple pleasure. To your pineal gland, it's a slow suffocation. Refined sugars and the high glycemic foods that flood your bloodstream do more than spike energy and crash your mood. They create a biochemical storm that chokes the pineal's oxygen, clogs its blood flow, and accelerates its calcification. The science is sobering. Excess sugar leads to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance creates chronic inflammation, and inflammation fuels the breakdown of delicate tissues, like the pineal gland. But the damage doesn't stop there. When your blood is saturated with sugar, it pulls calcium from your bones in a desperate attempt to neutralize its acidity. That calcium doesn't disappear. It travels, often to soft tissues. And one of its favorite places to settle is the pineal. Like sediment building in a sacred well, sugar turns your third eye to stone. You don't see it, you don't feel it, until one day you wake up, disconnected. Disconnected from your inner voice, from inspiration, from that subtle sense that you're meant for something more. But there's good news. Just as sugar can dim the third eye, removing it can begin to restore it. This isn't about deprivation. It's about devotion. Devotion to clarity, to depth, to life as it's truly meant to be lived. Eat whole, living foods, fruits, vegetables, seeds, herbs, ancient superfoods like spirulina, chlorella, raw cacao. Let food become a form of prayer, for the body, yes, but also for the soul. And as you nourish yourself with intention, you'll begin to notice the shift. Dreams become more vivid. Meditation deepens. Moments of quiet reveal messages. And the world begins to sparkle again, not with sugar, but with meaning. If you've ever felt foggy, distant, like your spirit was trying to reach you through static, know this. It's not that your intuition is gone. It's that it's been buried under years of sweet distraction. If you're ready to take your clarity back, type "I choose awareness" in the comments. Because what you feed your body, you also feed your mind. But sugar isn't the only substance that can heal or harm. There is one ancient food, dark, rich, sacred, that holds the power to protect and purify the pineal. A food once consumed in ceremonies. A key hidden in plain sight. Not all medicine comes in bottles. Some comes wrapped in ritual. In the bitter taste of the earth, in the forgotten wisdom of the ancients, in the sacred simplicity of nature's design. There is one such medicine, dark, rich, alive. It's not new. In fact, it has been revered for millennia by shamans, mystics, and healers across continents. A food of the gods, a food for the soul, raw cacao, not the sugary chocolate bars stacked in grocery aisles, but true, unprocessed, ceremonial-grade cacao, dense with minerals, bursting with neurotransmitter precursors, and vibrating with the frequency of awakening. You see, raw cacao isn't just a treat. It's a tonic for your pineal gland. It floods the body with magnesium, an essential mineral that not only reduces calcification, but also enhances melatonin production. It offers iron, zinc, and copper, nourishing pinealocytes and supporting hormonal balance. And within its deep, earthen flavor lies tryptophan, the precursor to serotonin, melatonin, and yes, DMT. But its gifts go beyond the chemical. Raw cacao carries a spirit, one that opens the heart, quiets the mind, and gently invites the third eye to stir, to soften, to open. In ancient Mesoamerican cultures, cacao was consumed not for pleasure, but for purpose. It was the drink of initiation into deeper love, deeper vision, deeper truth. When used intentionally, cacao becomes a bridge between body and spirit, between mind and intuition, between what is and what could be. But cacao is only one part of the protocol. There are herbs, minerals, and sacred practices that together form a complete path to pineal restoration. Iodine, critical for detoxing halogens like fluoride. Boron, an inflammation fighter and endocrine protector. Gotu kola, an ancient Ayurvedic brain tonic, long believed to stimulate the crown chakra. Silene capensis, the African dream herb, known for its ability to induce lucid dreams and pineal activation. And then there are the practices: daily meditation, exposure to sunlight in the early morning, breathwork, sauna, stillness, gratitude. These aren't trends, they are sacred technologies, encoded in the very fabric of human consciousness, designed to bring you home. Because the pineal gland is not a switch you flip, it is a flame you tend, With every intentional step, you remove a layer of dust, you soften the stone, and what was dormant begins to pulse with light once more. So if you feel called, begin today. Even if it's just replacing your morning coffee with a warm cup of ceremonial cacao, or adding spirulina to your smoothie, or taking 5 minutes to sit in silence with your eyes closed and your heart open. These acts may seem small, but the soul does not measure size. It recognizes intention. If you've made it this far, drop a comment. I honor the path, because that's what this is. Not a shortcut, not a hack, but a path. One of remembrance, of awakening, and of becoming. And as the calcification lifts and your third eye begins to breathe again, what comes next is not just clarity, it's transformation. In the final chapter, we explore what it truly means to live with an awakened pineal gland, and how your perception of reality will never be the same. There is no thunderclap, no beam of light. When the pineal gland awakens, it doesn't shout, it whispers. But that whisper changes everything. Colors become richer, time feels slower. The world, once mundane, begins to shimmer with hidden meaning. You sense patterns in people's words, messages in dreams, and a presence within you, watchful, timeless, alive. This is the quiet power of the third eye. The pineal gland doesn't just regulate melatonin, it regulates mystery. It reminds you that you're not just a body navigating the world. Your awareness, experiencing itself through the illusion of separation. And the more you clear the blockages, physical, emotional, energetic, the more you begin to see. Not just with your eyes, but with your knowing. Your life begins to align. Synchronicities unfold. Decisions flow with intuition rather than logic alone. And joy returns, not as a reaction, but as a state of being. You're no longer reacting to the world, you're co-creating it. This is the essence of walking the mystic path. It doesn't require robes or rituals, temples or titles. It requires presence, it requires practice, and above all, it requires the courage to remember who you are when the distractions fall away. The world will tell you that awakening is a fantasy. But listen closely. Every ancient culture guarded this truth. Every sacred tradition pointed to it. And deep inside, you already know it. You were never meant to live blind to your own brilliance. You were never meant to forget. So let this be your invitation. Not to escape this world, but to see it fully. Let your pineal gland be the lantern in the dark. Let it guide you not toward answers, but toward deeper questions. Let it restore the connection between your intuition and your action, between your inner voice and your outer life. And if this journey has awakened something within you, something ancient and unnamed, then write this in the comments. I walk with vision. Because you are no longer asleep, you are remembering. Before you go, take one more breath. Let it settle. Let it integrate. And if this story spoke to a deeper part of you, subscribe. Share this with someone who's ready to open their eyes, their real eyes. This is just the beginning. The pineal gland is no longer silent. Now, what will you do with what you've begun to see?